Goodwill brings to you the weekly share market update dated the 22nd of June, 2024. Talking about the corporate segment, we have shares of Gallant IPAT surged 5% to 331 rupees and were locked in the upper circuit on June 18 after it emerged as the lowest bidder for Tojapura iron ore block in Karauli in Rajasthan. Gallant IPAT emerged victorious in the Rajasthan iron ore block auction by submitting the highest final bid of 175%, it said in a regulatory filing. The company will now proceed with the necessary steps outlined in the tender documents to obtain the letter of intent and all required clearances. Once these are secured, they can finalize the lease deed and mine development and production agreement to begin mining operations. Under separate information, the topographical studies, geological data, and structure indicate that the iron ore deposit in the state is about 85.42 million tons spread across an area of 260.71 hectares. Gallant IPAT allocates the Rajasthan iron ore block to its Gujarat steel unit. This in-house mining of iron ore, a crucial raw material, ensures operational flexibility, readily available supply, and independence from suppliers for 20 to 25 years. Owning the mine allows for cost savings, potentially boosting the company's profits, it further added. Shares of Godawari Power and IPAT rose nearly 9% and hit a 52-week high of 1,174.50 rupees after the company's board approved a share buyback of up to 301 rupees crore via a tender offer route. Under the proposed plan, the company will buy back about 21.5 lakh fully paid-up equity shares at 1,400 rupees per share. The buyback price is at a 26% premium to the current market price of 1,109 rupees per share. The stock has gained 56% in the past 6 months, vastly outperforming NIFTY, which gained 10% during the same period. The buyback represents up to 1.6% of the company's total paid-up equity share capital as of March 31, 2024. Godawari Power, the flagship arm of the Chhattisgarh-based Hyra Group of Industries, operates 2 captive iron ore mines, a pellet plant, and a vertically integrated steel plant in Raipur. The company engages in mining iron ore and manufacturing iron ore pellets, sponge iron, steel billets, wire rods, HB wire, and ferroalloys. Defense stocks tumbled in trade on June 19 as investors engaged in profit booking after a relentless rally in recent trading sessions. Hindustan Aeronautics experienced declines of up to 5%. Defense stocks have been on a roll since June 5 as the Bharatiya Janata Party secured sufficient support from key allies to form a coalition government, ensuring Modi's return to power for a 3rd consecutive term. The Modi government has focused on defense sector by increasing funding, expanding defense budgets, and rising defense exports. Investors, buoyed by the prospects of policy continuity and ongoing economic reforms, poured money in the sector and are booking the profits now. The recent wave of optimism came from Defence Minister Rajnath Singh's agenda to increase defence exports in the times to come. While assuming charge of the Defence Ministry for a second tenure, Rajnath Singh set an ambitious target to export over 50,000 rupees crore worth of defence equipment by 2028 to 2029. Shares of ZF Commercial Vehicle Control Systems tanked 5% after a block deal worth 2,287 rupees crore took place on the exchanges on June 19. Wabco Asia Private Limited was the likely seller that offloaded around 14.45 lakh shares or a 7.6 equity stake in ZF Commercial through the block deal. While Moneycontrol could not immediately identify the parties involved in the transaction, CNBC's TV18 reported citing sources that Wabco Asia Private Limited was planning to offload a 5% stake in ZF Commercial, valuing it at 1,423.10 rupees crore. In addition, reports also suggested that post the equity sale, a lock-in period of 120 days will also be triggered for the remaining stake held by Wabco Asia. Wabco Asia is the promoter entity of ZF Commercial, holding a 75% stake in the company as per its recent shareholding data. Rashtriya Chemicals and Fertilizers shares jumped 20% to hit its upper circuit as shares worth 257 rupees crore changed hands on June 20. Around 1.2 crore shares or 2.1% equity was exchanged in a block deal at an average price of 221 rupees per share. Fertilizer stocks including state-run National Fertilizers Limited, Chambal Fertilizers, Rallis India and others zoomed up to 20%, extending previous sessions' gains, boosted by reports of a proposal to remove goods and services tax on fertilizers. The first GST Council meeting of Modi Government 3.0 is scheduled to be held on Saturday, June 22, wherein a decision may be taken to remove fertilizers from within the ambit of GST. The Union Cabinet recently announced the minimum support price for 14 Kharif season crops, including paddy, ragi, bajra, jowar, maize, and cotton. Investors expect that the increase in MSP will improve farmers' purchasing power, thereby encouraging them to invest more in agricultural inputs such as fertilizers. Shares of CE Info Systems Limited, the owner of MAPMI India, were locked at 20% upper circuit on June 20 after Goldman Sachs initiated coverage on the stock with a buy rating with a price target of 2,800 rupees, implying a potential upside of 40% from the stock's last closing level. The international brokerage believes that CE Info Systems is well poised to benefit from an early leadership position in fast-growth end markets. The homegrown navigation company enjoys over 80% market share in automotive OEM navigation software. The emerging mobility business is a bigger opportunity set than the core auto business, the research firm said. The corporate and government markets represent a meaningful growth opportunity for the company. The auto and mobility segments are also well exposed to premiumization and electrification, Goldman Sachs added. Shares of Railtel Corporation of India rallied over 10% on June 21, nearing its 52-week high of 491 rupees apiece. The uptick comes after it bagged work order from South Central Railway worth 20.22 rupees crore. So far this year, shares of Railtel raced over 44%, beating benchmark Nifty 50 index that rose by 8% during the same period. In an exchange filing, the company stated that the work order is for telecommunications work for provision of IP/MPLS in 523 RKM of Secunderabad division of South Central Railway. The project will be executed by 18 June 2025. Railtel has been receiving back-to-back orders this month. Earlier this month, it bagged work order from Tamil Nadu Fibernet Corporation, National Informatics Centre Services as well as Ministry of Defence. In the March-ended quarter, the company reported 3% year-on-year increase in profit after tax to 77.5 rupees crore, compared to 75 rupees crore in the year-ago period. Its total income also stood at 852 rupees crore in quarter for financial year 2024, as against 707 rupees crore in the year-ago period. The Fertilizers and Chemicals Travancore Limited has moved up by 45.46% this week, with a change of 354.55 B points. It has traded with a net volume of 46.072 million shares. The share is currently trading at the price level of 1,134.45 against the previous closing price of 779.90. Meanwhile, the share price is trading above its moving average 795.74, which is a good indication for the stock. The stock has made the highest move to 1187 points this week. While shares are trading with a relative strength index of around 76.02. CE Info Systems Limited has moved up by 29.18% this week with a change of 571.80 points. It has traded with a net volume of 9.408 million shares. The share is currently trading at the price level of 2,531.50 against the previous closing price of 1959.70. Meanwhile, the share price is trading above its moving average 2061.78, which is a good indication for the stock. The stock has made the highest move to 2,747.85 points this week. While shares are trading with a relative strength index of around 71.07. Rashtriya Chemicals and Fertilizers Limited has moved up by 23.88% this week with a change of 40.05 points. It has traded with a net volume of 287.202 million shares. The share is currently trading at the price level of 207.79 against the previous closing price of 167.74. Meanwhile, the share price is trading above its moving average 164.33, which is a good indication for the stock. The stock has made the highest move to 227.70 points this week, while shares are trading with a relative strength index of around 73.62. Nifty is currently in positive trend. If you are holding long positions, then continue to hold with daily closing stop loss of 23,235. Fresh short position can be initiated if Nifty closes below 23,235 levels. Nifty support levels are 23,377, 23,253 and 23,108. Nifty resistance levels are 23,646 to 23,791 and 23,915. Bank Nifty is currently in positive trend. If you are holding long positions, then continue to hold with daily closing stop loss of 50,682. Fresh short position can be initiated if Bank Nifty closes below 50,682 levels. Bank Nifty support levels are 51,279, 50,898 and 50,570. Bank Nifty resistance levels are 51,989, 52,316 and 52,698.
You can reach us via phone, WhatsApp, or email using the information listed on the screen. Thank you for joining us today. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more financial insights. And, as always, if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future videos, leave them in the comments section below. Until next time, happy investing.